We fell asleep in one world, and we woke up in another. Suddenly Paris and Rome are no longer romantic, New York no longer stands up, the Chinese wall is no longer a fortress, and Mecca is empty. Hugs and kisses suddenly become weapons, and not visiting parents and friends becomes an act of love. The world continues its life and it is beautiful. It only puts humans in cages. Planet Earth is sending us a message. You are not necessary. The air, the earth, the water and the sky, without you are fine. When you come back, remember that you are my guests, not my hosts. This forced arrest pushed us to drastically rearrange our lives. We are learning to live with less, to appreciate what surrounds us, instead of always running against time. We are experimenting new ways of communicating, working, having fun. We need to respond to new challenges, co-create innovative solutions, establish new alliances, transform uncertainties into opportunities, critically analyzing what has happened and what has failed. We must be concrete but visionary. This is our chance to paint a blank page, to contribute to the creation of a more sustainable way of living, to rethink and design the most responsible and fair future together.
You can take me down.
Okay, everybody, welcome, benvenuti a tutti, grazie, thanks for being here. So today we are here to present a new initiative promoted by USAID Invest and implemented in Italy through a high-level partnership guided by Pedal Consulting to provide financial support and technical assistance to companies contributing to fight COVID-19 in Italy. The agenda is divided basically in two parts. The first block, now I see it better, okay, thanks, is to explain the rationale and the background of this initiative, and this will be led by a representative from USAID, the American Embassy to Italy, and also Invitalia. And then as you can see from there is the second part that is to present into detail the opportunities for investors and for the companies. And this second part will be conducted by Pedal Consulting partners. So I leave the floor to Gretchen Birkle, that is a USAID Deputy Assistant Administrator, and she will open our webinar by describing how USAID supports the Italian response to COVID. Gretchen, I see you, so the floor is yours.
Grazie Susanna. Buongiorno tutti, è un piacere essere qui con voi. And thank you all very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. And I am pleased to be here to reaffirm USAID's commitment to Italy and the US government's commitment to Italy during this critical time of the COVID crisis. As you know, we are partnering with the government and the people of Italy to complement their response to and recovery from the pandemic. The U.S. Agency for International Development has committed $50 million to this, partnering with civil society and faith-based organizations, for example. We are supporting those most impacted by the crisis. This includes supporting the establishment of a hospital triage center in Cremona, the creation of an innovative telemedicine platform, and working with organizations like the Community of Sant'Egidio and Caritas to provide support to those most in need. We are proud to partner with the people of Italy in response to this global crisis. But today, we are here to talk about USAID's partnership with the Italian private sector. This $10 million initiative, launched by Ambassador Eisenberg just last month, will facilitate Italian businesses in their research and development and the manufacture of therapeutics, vaccines, medical equipment, and supplies related to COVID-19. Through this investment and partnership, our goal is to complement the work of the Italian government, non-governmental organizations, other international organizations, and faith-based groups in responding to the pandemic. We hope this targeted assistance will contribute to a reduction in risk for private sector investors and the ability of Italian PPE manufacturers to retool their production lines with an ultimate goal of a secure domestic supply of essential health commodities for the Italian people. As Susanna said, the INVEST initiative has 4 partners, including Petal. Petal Consulting will lead an international consortium to establish an investment fund to make investments that will increase the production of PPE and other medical supplies. With $1.1 million in catalytic capital from USAID, Petal will leverage an additional $10 million in private investment. Petal and its partners will also provide technical assistance to 10 selected Italian companies to help increase production. We are thrilled to work with Petal and our other partners for local Italian businesses in their response to the ongoing pandemic. And we are happy that the investment we are making today will help the Italian response to the current health crisis and therefore better position the health sector for future challenges. Importantly, I believe this initiative exemplifies what we can do when working together with the private sector. Thank you all for being here today. I look forward to hearing more about the current work and your planned activities in the coming months. Grazie a tutti.
Gretchen, thanks a lot also because in US it's 5 in the morning. And so thanks a lot also for this additional effort also to all our Americans partners that I see their names in the list of participants. So thanks a lot. We are now 47 participants, so we are increasing. So I give the floor to our second host, guest, that is Daniel Ross, that is representing the US Embassy in Italy. And so Daniel, the floor is yours. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm also very happy to be here today to participate in this event, and I want to thank Petal for organizing this and for inviting us to be part of the event today. And just to follow on to what my colleague from USAID said, I want to talk a little bit today about the larger relationship between the United States and Italy and the importance of that relationship. The United States and Italy have a long shared history, and since World War II, we've been very close allies and constant partners in responding to global events. We're both members of NATO, and as members of NATO, we're not just members of a military security alliance, but we're also members of a community that shares the same values of democracy and free enterprise. And our societies and our economies are very deeply entwined. There was a very large migration of Italians to the United States. So we have a long history of Italian-American participation in the US economy. And as of today, our trade in goods and services between Italy and the United States is about $103 billion annually. And fortunately for Italy, the trade balance is actually in Italy's favor by about $33 billion a year. The United States is also the third largest non-EU investor in Italy after Switzerland and the United Kingdom. And on an annual basis, there's a stock of about $10 billion in investment, in US investment in the Italian economy. So when the COVID-19 pandemic first broke out in Italy earlier this year, the US moved very quickly to support our friend and our ally with a broad range of resources. And as my colleague from USAID mentioned, about $50 million in assistance was provided through USAID to civil society, to procurement of medical equipment, and also to the private sector, as my colleague mentioned. But I also want to highlight that in the early days of the pandemic, the United States military, which has a number of bases in Italy, also donated significant amounts of medical equipment to hospitals throughout Italy and supported the Italian military with transportation and logistical support in the early days of the pandemic. And to date, the US military has provided about $10 million in personal protective equipment to the Italian healthcare sector. So Italy was one of the first countries in Europe affected by the pandemic, and so it had to take very quick and very drastic measures to try to bring the pandemic under control. And the private sector played a very significant part in that, in terms of ensuring that supplies were available for the healthcare sector and that supply chains were maintained to provide those supplies. And so with the launching of PEDAL's project today, the Italian private sector is again playing a very important role in preparing Italy for any future experiences with the COVID pandemic, and helping to prepare Italy for dealing with this pandemic as we go forward. So I'll just conclude by saying that we're very happy in the U.S. Embassy to be able to support this project, and we wish you all the best and great success. And we, as always, the U.S. government stands ready to support Italy and our Italian partners throughout the country, in the private sector, in civil society, and throughout the economy. So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Daniel. So next person is Roberto Pasetti, that will tell us about Invitalia, that is one of the main players in this activity to fight COVID-19 in Italy. So Roberto, the floor is yours. Thanks for being
Thank you. Good morning to everybody. My name is Roberto Pasetti, and yes, I work for Invitalia, which is the national agency for investment, attractive and development of business in startup, and which is in charge usually for develop the entrepreneurship in Italy. In this particular period, the agencies has been involved in different ways to responding to this emergency. First of all, our CEO is the Special Commissioner for the Emergency, Dr. Arcuri. But apart from this, Invitalia has been involved in different ways, supporting national industries to provide a domestic production in order to reduce the import of several devices which we need in this period, and to reconversion of national industry to this kind of production. I'm in particular in charge of the entrepreneurship area, which is the area in charge for supporting startups and new businesses. And in this particular period, we noticed that the innovative small companies such as startups are very important to find new technologies to help responding to this crisis. And the main measure we manage is called Smart and Start, which is the main scheme providing financial incentives for Italian startups. And we think that in this kind of project, we can find a lot of synergies between this line of financing and the future calls for private sector in this field. And first of all, we could cooperate to find eligible and suitable startups that we recently financed to boost their activities and to make them apply for the call in this project. And we also think that our financing lines, which are loans, but loans which are focused on developing the business plans of the startups, can be used as a co-financing of this project for the startup for the private sector. So when our partners, our national partners in participating in this project ask us to participate, cooperate in this project, we were very happy, and we think that is very a good idea to find synergies between the national financing of a startup, in particular those applying for projects related to new technologies which can be useful for try to find new responses to this crisis, and synergies between this financing and the call within this project can be held to find private partners. So we thank you all for inviting us, and it's a pleasure to cooperate and participate in this project.
Thanks, Roberto. We also believe that I mean, the collaboration with our two initiatives will be very helpful and very impactful for the Italian response. So I think that from now on we can really go in the central part of our event. Because we will have Robert, that is our coordinator, is the leading partner of the initiative that we represent. We are all representing, and we will have also some other partners from our initiative that will go into detail in some specific components of the initiative. So Robert Miskuf, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Buongiorno. I'm Robert Miskuf, CEO of Pedal Consulting. We are a leader of this unique signature project funded through USAID's Invest initiative. Pedal Consulting is a consulting company focusing primarily on the provision of business and innovation support services. Our main clients are SME startups, but we also serve public authorities. Currently, we're managing a portfolio of projects with a combined value of $40 million. I'm very much honored to welcome you all at this launch event, and looking forward to collaborate with you during next weeks and months. Our project is an unprecedented effort on EU territory. It is really the first time that USA activates its aid and development agency, USAID, to support a developed country for a humanitarian aid. So Italy, as we all know, is a member of the G7 and the founding member of the EU. And right after we detected this opportunity earlier this summer, we started designing an adaptive and integrated methodology, providing sustainable and impacting support to Italian companies fighting COVID-19. Of course, we are not doing this alone. We are really proud to lead a multidisciplinary team of EU and Italian leading players. Our consortium includes, among others, the advisors, which have been with us from day zero, and they are a global strategic advisory consultancy group specialized in internationalization, innovation, development, and cooperation. We are very glad to have on board also FBA, Susanna and Luis and their team based in Rome. They are Italian SME specialized in communication, and they are behind all the other organizational aspects of today's launch event. Our project could not be achieved without great and tremendous assistance from IFI, which is a private equity venture capital association, and IBAN, Italian Business Angel Leading Network. We are also extremely proud to have on board Innovap, an European startup network, which bring to our consortium all the innovators from Italy and abroad. Our medical sector or expertise and technical expertise is safeguarded by the presence of University Campus Biomedico di Roma and also CNR, which is the largest research center in Italy. So this is our team, but what is our unique selling proposition? Well, we are going to mobilize investors to fund Italian companies. Our objective is to increase their capacities in fighting COVID-19, and we will assist them to become more competitive internationally. I really hope that we will deliver more products and solutions, which are so much needed nowadays, to Italy and to the Italian people to overcome current pandemics. We are acting as a one-stop shop for both components, so the catalytic funding and the technical assistance package, so that companies will benefit from really powerful and integrated support from the very beginning. In this project, we are deploying our operational knowledge, which really carefully captures both, I would say, policy and also market realities. Our model is truly unique, offering also further scalability and replicability. Now, practically speaking, our goal is to first establish the catalytic fund, which is happening as we speak right now. We are mobilizing private investors, and we are going to raise at least $10 million. We will also provide support financially and through the TAP, technical assistance provision, to 10 carefully selected Italian companies, out of which 5 are ramping up production, 3 will be retooling the production or processes, services, and 2 will be bringing innovations to the market. We are really excited to work on this great challenge. This is really the great challenge of our lifetimes, and are honored to operationalize the cooperation between American and also the Italian people. Thank you very much. Grazie, Susanna.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Robert. So I think that the next one, as you can see, is Thomas Matraia from the advisor. So Thomas, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I hope you can hear me and you can see me. And thanks, Robert. I think it's a great adventure so far, and the best is yet to come. So as you said, we are providing leadership when it comes to this project, when it comes to somehow the overall strategy, the partnership, and also the technical assistance. And after designing this together with Pedal and the other colleagues this summer, we are now very proud to implement that. As Robert also mentioned, just very briefly, what we do as the advisors is that we engineer the best policies and innovative solutions from the developing world and the developed world to combine them together in order to solve societal challenges. And with Pedal, our capacity is truly to leverage the power of the private capital and innovative solutions for long-lasting economic, social, and human impact. Now, I think Robert already somehow gave us an understanding of what is happening in the project, but maybe let me just highlight some of the key parts. So indeed, we will help companies through our groundbreaking approach and functioning as a one-stop shop for Italy. And we will make the companies more shock resilient, internationally competitive, sustainable, and also future-proof. This is extremely important because fighting COVID-19 is not only fighting the health sanitary dimension of the issue, it's also fighting the externalities, such as social and economic externalities, unemployment, and jobs crisis. So at the end, what we want to achieve is to make the Italian people safer, the Italian healthcare system stronger, and also the international community more advanced when it comes to tackling this type of challenges. So indeed, we will be able to mobilize the investors through the catalytic capital in a way that we will achieve this $10 million, and there will be a direct connection between the investors and the companies, so that the companies will benefit from the capital and the trust of the investors, and at the same time companies will get more trust and confidence in their own capacities through access to liquidity. And we all know that nowadays it's a crucial issue for lots of companies that have the capacities, that need to boost them, to engage, and also to increase them. Technically speaking, this type of approach is made thanks to the involvement of course, IFI, IBAN, Innovap as partners that are mobilizing the investors, but also through a very selective, I would say highly selective evaluation process. Later on, Jan will speak more about that. But I think that at the end, it will be a win-win situation for two reasons. First one is that companies that currently do not have all the standards and the capacities and the access to the finance will achieve and benefit from that. But at the same time, the investors will have, so to say, a winning group of companies to invest in. So we really want to select the best Italian companies that can help solving the problems, companies that will be at the forefront of fighting COVID. And at the same time, those companies will not only be supported on a daily basis to achieve that, but we're thinking also beyond the COVID and beyond COVID-19 economy. So we want to empower those companies so that when tomorrow COVID, we all know, will be just a memory of the past, we will be able to have a society that has been modernized through the support, through the cooperation, to international competitiveness, so that we can be more resilient and stronger. I think a final message before passing the floor to Professor Giancarlo Giudici that will tell us a little bit more about the advantages for the investors is the following. The world changes and will change again. And therefore, we need to be capable to anticipate changes, to adapt to new realities, and to overcome those challenges. So our model is replicable, scalable in Europe and beyond that. And we think that Italy will be a great case also for future, to show how we can merge and activate the public and the private sector through innovation for the benefit of society. So with this, I thank you very much for your time, and I pass the floor back to Susanna and to Giancarlo.
Next one is Giancarlo Giudici, professor at Politecnico di Milano, and he will go into detail about the financial support.
Thank you, Susanna, and welcome to everyone. I'm very happy to be part of this project. And here at Politecnico di Milano, we teach that startups and SMEs face a rationing in access to capital. And therefore, external support is important to overcome information asymmetry and reduce the risk for investors. And this is exactly what the project wants to target. And we wanted to solve this threat with this call and with the support of the catalytic capital. As Thomas and Robert said, there are different benefits according to us, both for selected companies and for investors. Let's start from selected companies. They will have the opportunity to leverage on resources which are provided by the catalytic fund, and this will reduce the cost of capital. The intervention, for sake of example, will be a direct investment, leaving liquidation preferences to other external investors, or it can be a guarantee on first losses for external investors. So usual processes and techniques that are used to enhance the capability of companies to raise capital. We think that this is also an opportunity for investors, because the catalytic capital will be used to lower the risk and to provide an incentive in the investment into the selected companies. that, as Thomas said, passed through a highly selective process assessing the international success, the competitiveness and sustainability, also in the post-COVID-19 economy. And I'm very happy to work together with three, I would say, leading players in Italy in this field, with AIFI, that is the Association for Venture Capital, Private Equity and Private Debt in Italy. And so they group all the investors which are playing on the Italian market. With IBAN, that is the Italian Business Angel Network. It's one of the leading business angel network in Italy. And they group a number of business angels. And we know that the role of business angels is very important for startup and SMEs to create syndications. And with Innovap, the third association who has thousands of members in the startup ecosystem. So I guess that we selected the top players in this industry. The project will also reduce the administrative burdens and speed up due diligence, because thanks to the activities that will be carried out with the support of the USAID project, it will be easier for investors to reduce information asymmetry, to collect information and to understand which are the most promising companies to create value for the future. So I guess my time is over, so I leave the floor to the presentation of the date and timeline for the activities in the follow.
Great, thanks a lot, Giancarlo. So next speaker will be Jan, that is the CEO of European Startup Network, because as you already heard, our project is an international project, a European project, an American project, so it's really a worldwide effort to fight COVID. So Jan, the floor is yours.
Buongiorno a tutti da Brussels. So indeed, I'm Jan Bormans from the European Startup Network, and we are very proud to be a part of this initiative. European Startup Network is an NGO with its members, the national startup associations, and basically we want to create a common voice for national startup associations. And Italy is of course a prominent member of our network. After hearing all the interesting talks about what this project is about, I guess you are curious about to know what are the next steps. So I will briefly introduce them, and I promise to keep it short. So if I can have the next slide, yes. So the most important thing on the short term is that next week we are launching the open call. So we open on the 9th of December, and we are looking for 3 types of projects. Yeah? So innovation, retooling, and ramp-up projects. And we keep the call open during 1 month, over the holidays, so that there is sufficient time for you to submit. Yeah. Next slide. Then the next step will be, of course, to evaluate these proposals, and we have assembled a pool of top experts who will evaluate the submissions between 13th and 27th of January. And if you want to apply, it might, of course, be interesting to know how we will judge the submissions. The submissions will be based online in an easy to fill out form. And the criteria will be, the top 2 will be technology and scientific, that account for 25%. Then there are economic aspects that account also for 25%. Then you have 15% for financial aspects, 10% for operational aspects. And then the remaining 25% looks at environmental issues, social aspects, the gender balance, aspects of inclusion, and geographic spread. From all submissions, we will select up to 10 companies, and we will announce this at the end of January 2021. Next slide, please. So what are our next steps? After the announcement of the companies, we will continue to leverage the catalytic capital and fine-tune the technical assistance provision. And we will continue to do this until December 2021. The deployment, the actual deployment of funding will start in April until the end of next year, and the provision of the TAP will start in February and will also last till the end of next year. And of course, we will continue to communicate about this initiative permanently. So we are very much looking forward to your submissions, and back to you, Susanna.
Yes, thanks a lot. So we were very quick. So we are getting to the conclusion. So the floor will be for Robert, our coordinator.
Thank you very much indeed. So I would like to again thank to all speakers, especially our counterparts in USA, for waking up so early, and also to the participants. And looking at participants, if you are a company which is somehow fighting COVID-19, put the 9th of December, which is already next week, in your diary, because we will have a very relevant opportunity for you, financial and also technical assistance. So please stay tuned. And on the 9th of December, the open call will be officially launched, and it will be open for the period of 1 month. If you are an investor and are key partners on this side, so IFI and IBAN and Innovap didn't come to you yet, please come to us, and we are very happy to have a discussion with you how we can synergize and collaborate together. We are all citizens also. So even if our project is a small piece of puzzle in this huge global battle against the current pandemics, I would like to assure you that we are working hard to make sure that, as Thomas said, this will be soon history, and we will move on to the next, hopefully more exciting challenges. So with this, I would like to close today's launch event. Please stay tuned and contact us for any further follow-up you may have.